Hi guys, Rashi here and welcome to Love at the Milky Way Diner, the demo. This is a cozy sci-fi cooking dating sim about making friends, finding love, and running a diner in deep space. It is a game about cultural exchange through food, building community, and finding love in the process. So, our protagonist has recently been laid off from their corporate job on Mars when news reaches them. Their distant aunt, Cassiopeia, has passed away suddenly, and she would like one of her relatives to take over her restaurant on the distant deep space station Hesperides, which is very strange. So, this game is developed by Lucky Kim and Ellie Heikens and is published by Clumsy Cat Studios, and it has a planned release date for the 15th of October, 2025. So we still got a while to go, but it looks very cute and I really wanted to give it a look, see, and see all about it. So let's have a look at some settings. We've got our display here. I'm currently full screen. You can skip unseen text. You can skip after choices, skip after transitions. Okay. There's a music volume, although I'm not hearing any music currently. Voice volume and sound volume. There's also text speed, which I'm going to keep it all at its default settings. There's also a load game, so I guess load save button, which means I guess we're going to have to save quite a bit. We're going to jump right in and see what happens. Woo! Droid. I'm going to probably attempt voices because you know what I'm like, so we'll just see. Hi, traveler. What is your name? My first name is Roshi. My last name is... No one's ever asked me this question. Boshi? Roshi Boshi? I guess. Your name is Roshi Boshi, correct? Yes. Thank you. Enjoy your journey. Thanks, droid. I rub my eyes. I'm still feeling groggy and stiff from my time in the transport ship's stasis pods. I stare out of the ship's many windows and into the emptiness of deep space. I'm sitting in the observation lounge of Argo 24. Your best choice for intersystem travel leaving the Helios system, with prices that won't break the bank. There are far more glamorous methods of space travel. 5-star cruising ships with luxurious rooms and great meals, where you can spend that long trip between star systems in leisure and comfort. But comfort costs credits, and I'm pretty short on those. So it's budget travel and budget stasis pods for me, and the Argo space fleet is known for being especially no frills. The ship dips and my destination comes into view. Whoa! The deep space station, Hesperides, my new home. It's a sleek Aurelian design with habitat and docking rings orbiting around the station's main superstructure. Spacecraft zip in and out and around the station like bees circling a hive. Unfamiliar alien designs in unexpected shapes. Thankfully, I was able to utilize an onboard sonic shower and freshen up before making my way here. My stomach rumbles and I pull out the complimentary juice box and small biscuits that were left by my pod for me to find when I woke up. I tear open the package and nibble on the slightly sweet and crumbly digestive. The biscuit is plain and the strawberry juice box is warm, but it's my body's first solid food in 2 weeks, and it's a relief to my empty stomach. I watch as one of the smaller ships head towards a spot in space marked by blinking buoys. Or buoys? I never know how to say that. There's a flash as the ship speeds past them and into the wormhole, disappearing from sight. There are 4 other spots like this in the area around the Hesperides. Wasn't that like... aren't they? Am I mistaking that? No, I'm thinking of the Hebrides. Okay. Stable wormholes, each leading to a different place light years away from here. Attention all passengers. We are now beginning docking procedures for Deep Space Station Hesperides. Please make sure to bring all your belongings with you as you disembark. On behalf of the captain and all of our crew, we thank you for choosing Argo Space Transport. I disembark from the Argo 24 into a massive arrivals hangar. I'm immediately met with the shift in anti-grav. The difference between the calibration of the transport ship and the station is slight, but there's just a bit more bounce. All around me are ships of all shapes and sizes from across the galaxy, from large passenger cruisers and cargo freighters to smaller personal crafts and aliens. I've never seen so many different species all in one place, hustling between ships trying to make connections, lining up to collect their bags and moving cargo around. A dizzying flurry of fur and scales and tentacles and tails. It's so much to take in. The Helios system doesn't really get that much interstellar tourism, so seeing other species is a rarity. But this is the Hesperides space station, gateway to the Theta sector and the fringe colonies they're in. In this part of the galaxy, humans are the minority. Attention! This is the final boarding call for Flight XJ6B6, with service to Kashroth 4. All passengers should now be on board at gate C32. It's a question mark, so I'm just going to say, out of the way. A voice from behind me calls, and before I can react, I'm shoved hard to one side. I'm thrown off balance by the impact, and I tumble forward, hitting the ground hard. My travel bags slide a few feet away from me on the metal floor. I look up just in time to see a Sketrian with a large backpack run and shove their way through the crowd. Hey, watch where you're going! Growls another voice as I hear growls. Hey, watch where you're going! As I hear footfalls jog toward me. The owner of the voice stops in front of me and crouches down to meet my eyes. Oh, you are gorgeous. Hey, are you okay? She says with concern in her deep voice. She's an alien. A Karetri. A Kaetri? I don't know. A Kaetri. She has a worried look in her golden eyes. Pulling up next to her is a hover cart, piled high with boxes. You're not hurt, are you? I'm okay. I might have a bruise or two, though. I say sheepishly as I rub my right elbow, which bore the brunt of the impact. Here, let me help you stand. She extends her large clawed hand towards me and I take it. She pulls me up with ease. I can't help but be slightly startled by her strength. Thanks, I say and crane my neck to look behind her, trying to spot my errant bags. Following my gaze, she turns around. Oh, don't mention it. She says brightly as she reaches down and grabs my 2 bags, throwing them both over one of her shoulders with ease. I'm Cal, by the way. By they way? By they way? She flashes me a toothy smile, her teeth, her fangs. I'd seen Kaetri in vids before, or from a distance a couple of times on Mars. But this is my first time really meeting a member of their species up close like this. She's kind of fucking beautiful. She's also kind of cool. But she's kind of beautiful. She's kind of beautiful, I catch myself thinking. Beautiful and strong. There's something about her that isn't totally unlike the lionesses I've seen in vids of old earthen species. Kael moves in the same powerful, confident, and graceful way they did. Her ears are decorated with golden sparkling gems. They clink softly as her ears move, trying to catch different sounds in the hangar. She has eyes that shine as brightly as the jewelry that adorns her. They are warm and kind in the color of liquid amber. Not to mention her bright blue hair. It looks so fluffy and soft. She looks like one of my old D&D characters called Faye. She was also like kind of all blue. She was a winter eladrin. Not to mention her bright blue hair. It looks so fluffy and soft. And on top of it, she's friendly and kind, rushing over to make sure a random stranger, an alien like me, was okay. What's wrong? Kashek got your tongue? No, I just spaced out, that's all. I do that often. Flush slightly, did she notice me staring? I hope not. I'm Rashi. Well, Rashi, let's get you to where you gotta go. Do you have a connection to catch? Oh, no connection. This is me. I'm actually moving on to the station. Really? Well, in that case, I'll bring you to the arrivals. I'm headed there myself. Follow me. She smiles an easy smile and nudges the parked hovercraft next to her tail. It whirs to life and follows her as she starts to walk, my bags still slug over her shoulder. Clearly she has no intention of letting me carry them myself. Yeah, because I'm just a little weakling person, weakling. I decide I'm just going to roll with it for now. I still feel pretty rough from my time in stasis. I'm not about to protest. I dust myself off and start to follow her through the crowd. So Rashi, you're moving in on the Hesperides. What brings you to this side of the galaxy? If you don't mind me asking, that is. We had a lot of folks passing through, as you might have noticed. But it's not every day someone decides to make an extended stay here. I guess you could say I'm making a career change. I'm taking over my late aunt's diner. The Milky Way diner? Yeah. How'd you know? The Milky Way diner is a Hesperides station staple. I had heard it was closing after your aunt passed. It's good to hear someone's keeping that place up and running. It's an important spot for the community here, and when you're this far away from home, community is everything. That's a lot to live up to. I had no idea it was so popular. You and your aunt weren't close? Then quickly, as if catching herself, she says, Sorry, I don't mean to pry. You don't have to share if you don't want to. No, it's okay. We weren't, not really anyways. I only met her a couple of times in my life when she came to visit family in the Helios system. She had her own thing going here, her life out in deep space, the diner. My parents never really had the creds to take us out of the system to visit. Then, about a month ago, we got word she'd had a stroke and passed away. When we got the will, it said that she would like one of her family members to take over if possible. She didn't have any kids of her own, so here I am. So you just dropped everything to come out here? That's pretty bold for someone who's never left their home star system. I'm impressed. Not much to drop when the company you'd been working for goes bankrupt and you're out of a job. Fresh start sounded pretty good after that. It's true. No job, no love life. My friends from college and I had drifted apart. Sure, my family was there, but they all had their own stuff going on. There really wasn't much of anything holding me back. Buying a one-way discount ticket to the gateway to the Theta sector and running a diner with no experience seemed like a much better option than just continuing to aimlessly drift around home. I get that. Sometimes change is good. Kael reaches over and gives me a gentle and reassuring pat on the back. It breaks my spine. You've got this. I'm sure the Milky Way diner is in good hands. There's a warm and reassuring look in her eyes. She's so easy to talk to. I'm thankful to have met someone as kind as Kael as soon as I arrived. And what about you? You said we get a lot of folks passing through, so I guess it's safe to assume you live on the station? I'm a cargo runner, so I'd sooner say I live on my ship rather than here. Desperides is kind of like a home base for me, though. Got a good steady list of clients here, not too far of a trip to Renan, and the people here are nice. What kind of cargo do you run? That depends. On? Kael's, I keep going to call her Kalel. Kael's amber eyes narrow and her ears twitch slightly. You're not a GABI agent, are you? Kael said with a conspiratorial edge to her voice. The Galactic Alliance Bureau of Investigation. No? There's an obvious uneasy tone in my voice. I'm just messing with Yurashi, she says with a laugh. Haha, how'd I know? I transport the usual stuff. Tech, food, alcohol, medicine, fun stuff like that. I do supply runs for a couple of the on-station merchants. You could place an order with me if you needed some ingredients that can't grow on the agricultural deck. I have a great whiskerfish supplier back in Renan. Also, she leans in a bit closer and says, just a bit quieter, I have connections in just about every sector of this galaxy. Whatever it is you might need, I can find it. For the right price, of course. Or the right person. Kael says with a wink and an undeniably flirty tone in her voice. Am I being hit on by a Kaetri right now? Kael isn't exactly being subtle. I'm not necessarily surprised she'd be interested in a member of a different sapient species. After all, interspecies couplings aren't unheard of. People from different star systems have been living side by side for centuries. There was even a Martian drama series a few years back about a Naru and a human. I am surprised she's interested in me. I'm a flirt back, hell yeah! Oh? And how would someone like me, for example, go about becoming the right person? Well, you can start by letting me buy you a drink. And maybe, who knows, I might just decide I like you. Decide you like me? So you haven't decided yet? I'm hurt. I say with mock offense, putting my hand over my heart. Kael lets out a chuckle. Maybe I just want to make sure I was right to have a good feeling about you. Then I'll have to take you up on that offer, won't I? Maybe I'll even cook you something on the house to really win you over. Can Kaetri eat pancakes? I feel like pancakes are diner food. And easy to make, I think to myself, because fuck me if I can't cook. Ah! I can cook. I'm just clumsy as shit. We can. I've had them before and enjoyed them. I like sweet things. No wonder you had a good feeling about me then. Kael's ears prick up a bit in surprise. For a moment I think I might have caught her off guard, but she quickly recovers with a devilish smile. Because you're sweet? You said it, not me. Kael chuckles and leans down slightly so she's close to my ear when she says, You got me there, sugar. Kael literally purrs when she says the word sugar. If I could do that, I would, but I'm so sorry. I don't think I can. How do you purr when, how do I, I'm just not, I don't have the capability. I feel a tingle run up my spine and my face flush deeply. Oh, she's good, I think to myself. She leans away from me with a knowing smile. I'll give you a chance to get your space legs before I rush you to the nearest bar. I'll be in port for a couple more days. I'll catch you when she's settled. Thanks, Kael. Who is this nice person on the wall? We stop walking, getting into the short line leading to a kiosk manned by a human in a green uniform. All right, here we are, she says, putting down my bags. Give me your palm pad. I'll have my contact info. That way you can place an order with me if you need anything for the diner. And let me know when you're free for that drink, of course. If we're in the same system, we can chat in real time. Otherwise, you can shoot me a text or a voice message and I'll get back to you once it reaches me. I know how interstellar communications work, you know. I say with a laugh, handing her my palm pad. This may be my first time out of the system. But I'm not totally clueless. I know, just a reminder. She says as she types in her contact details. She hands my palm pad back to me. My plan pad! I notice we've made it to the front of the line now. I gotta get all this stuff where it needs to go, so I'll head in first. I'll be seeing you around. See you around, Kel. Kel. If you say it really fast, it sounds like Kel. She puts her large hand on my shoulder as she passes by me and walks up to the kiosk, her hover cart following behind her. Officer Shimu Morency, what's the head of security doing checking arrivals? From where I stand now, I can get a better look at the human man behind the kiosk. Officer Shiwu, as Kyle had called him. He has wavy chocolate brown hair that curls around the nape of his neck and a stern expression on his face. He's not too tall, with an athlete's build. I can't help but notice the prominent bags under his dark eyes. He looks like he hasn't had a good night's sleep in ages. Officer Ashcat called in sick today, so I'm taking over his duties for now. Can I please get your name and purpose for your visit to the station? His voice is deep and soft, with a stern edge and slight fringe planet accent. Well, I guess I fucked up the choice I made. Really, Shiwu? We gotta do this whole song and dance every time. It's not like you don't know my name and call sign by now. I know your name, Kyle, but regulations are regulations, and there are questions I need to ask every person who goes through arrivals. Now can I please get your name and purpose for your visit to the Hesperides station? Kael's tail twitches slightly in irritation and she rolls her eyes. Kael Bashruna, cargo delivery firm, Ashkesk General, Haley Roswell, and Wayfarer's Rest. Shipping manifest will be under call sign Starblazer. Shiwu types away quickly at the holoscreen in front of him, giving the manifest a quick read. Thank you. Looks like everything is in order. He looks up from the screen and at Kael. Also, this is a reminder that all weapons are left on the ship. She flips open the flaps on her holsters with a flourish, revealing the empty pockets. I know. It's not like this is my first time here. I'm only reminding you because you forgot last time. Because I was in a hurry. I had a row that needed to get back into temperature control. Was losing freshness by the second. They're going back and forth like this, but Kael doesn't sound angry. Just mildly annoyed at the bureaucracy of it all. Kael seems to be the type that chafes up against rules and regulations, and Shiwu doesn't seem the type to loosen protocol for anyone. Arms out. Just gonna give you a quick scan, then you're free to go. A pair of spherical float droids deploy from behind the kiosk and float on either side of Kael and her hovercart. Scanning. Please hold still. The two droids emit green scanning beams and float around Kael, scanning her and her cargo. By the way, you look more exhausted than usual today. Are you holding up all right? Now it was Shiwu's turn to roll his eyes. He sighs a bit and rubs the back of his neck. I appreciate your continued concern about my well-being, but really I'm fine. It's nothing new. Still, you should check Emissaria. I did a couple days ago, but like I just said, I'm fine. Shiwu's face softens as he speaks. The droids finish their scan and the green lights turn off.
No forbidden articles or pathogens detected. Kael Bashruna, you are free to proceed into the station. Please enjoy your stay. Okay. I brought you some new herbal tea from Nanan. I'll leave it in your mail locker.
Thanks, Kael. I'll be sure to try it before bed tonight.
You better. And let me know how it goes. I'll catch you later, bud.
With that, Kael gives her cart a nudge and she walks into the station. But not before looking over her shoulder at me and giving me a smile and a wave.
See you, sugar.
And with that, she disappears around the corner. I grab my bags and lug them over to the kiosk where Shiwu stands. Welcome to the Hesperides. Can I please get your name and purpose for your visit to the station? Shiwu says, meeting my eyes over his holoscreen. Roshi Boshi. Fuck, I forgot that was my name. Roshi Boshi. I'm moving on to the Hesperides to take over the management of the Milky Way diner. Shiwu raises his thick eyebrows and the corners of his mouth lift slightly into a small smile. Ah yes, we've been expecting you. Welcome aboard. I'm Officer Shiwu Morency, Head of Security. Can I please get you to confirm that these details are correct? I'll also need your travel documents. He hands me the holoscreen. Let me see. Oh, crap. Okay, cool. I am a human. I'm from Helios. My home settlement is Nucreate Europa. And my pronouns are she, her. Because, my name may not be Roshi Boshi, but, might as well. Galactic Assembly Citizen ID file. Okay, yes. Sweet. How do I, oh, close. I scan my wrist chip on the holo screen before handing it back to Shiru, who gives it a quick once-over. All right, everything looks good. This is a GA Category 3 station, so all Class 4 and above weapons are strictly prohibited on the Hesperides. If you're carrying any energy blasters, phasers, electropulse emitters, or laser swords, please leave them with me. We will store them in a secure location till such time as you leave the station. Good thing I left my laser sword at home. Shiru's eyes narrow, clearly unamused. I shift a little awkwardly. I assume you're kidding around. You got me. How could you tell? You don't seem like the laser sword type. He says matter-of-factly. Geez, this guy does not have a sense of humor. He clears his throat a bit. I'll go ahead and update your access files so you can use your wrist chip to access the Milky Way diner as well as your quarters. If you'd like, I can have someone from the agricultural deck drop some ingredients off at the diner for you. Oh, yeah, that would be great. I'd like to take the kitchen for a spin. I figured as much. Let's see, what else? You'll be in room 3 of living block B. Your room will have a bathroom with water and sonic showers, a tub and kitchenette, as well as your bed. That's just my cat, please ignore him. Sorry. Sheets and pillows are provided and the room has been prepped for your arrival. There is also a common space with a living area and larger kitchen. Your neighbors have already been told to expect you. Please make sure to introduce yourself when you get the chance, as you'll be sharing the space with them. I'd heard about similar setups in other stations and space colonies. Life in space can be isolating, so dwellings and neighborhoods are often planned with an emphasis on community building. Noted. Do you like living here? I've never lived off-world, so I'm not super familiar with station life. I do, and I'm sure you will too. Sharing space with your neighbors and living alongside different species can take some getting used to if you're not accustomed to it. But you'll get settled soon, so try not to worry too much. That's reassuring to hear. This is also new to me. It's not the biggest station. Functionally, it's kind of like living in a small town. There's the good and the bad that comes with that. For example, once news got out that the Milky Way diner wasn't actually closing down and Cassie's family member was coming from Helios to take it over, let's just say that you've been the talk of the town. Small town gossip is a thing even at the gateway to the Theta sector? Huh. Pretty much, I'm sorry to say. Shiru says with a shrug of his massive shoulders. On the bright side, you're the human that's bringing back a beloved station eatery, so I'm sure you'll receive a warm welcome as a result. Kael mentioned the diner was really popular. Whoa. I'm hit by a sudden wave of vertigo. It's like the ground under my feet has given way. Jesus. I feel my eyes roll into the back of my head and I crumple. I'm fully expecting to hit the ground for the second time in less than an hour, but the impact doesn't come. That was close. I hear Shiru's voice, closer and softer now than it was before. My eyes flutter open and I realize why I'm not currently concussed. He caught me. Can I just be, can I date all of them? Shiru's face is only a handful of inches away from mine. This close up, I'm struck by just how handsome he is. He is very handsome. His hair falls into his eyes and his thick brows are knitted in concern, a slight frown on his soft-looking lips. One of his hands supports the head, the other is wrapped around the small of my back. He must have vaulted over the kiosk and caught me just before I hit the ground. Hurry to stand up. Looking to the side, I see a couple passers-by stealing surprised glances at us. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's accurate to what I would do. I stammer out, flustered. I escaped his arms and attempt to hurry to my feet. But the moment I try to stand, my legs buckle and I tip over. The ground rushes towards my face again. Fuck! Thankfully, Shiru manages to grab my wrist before I faceplant into the ground. He pulls me up, supporting me as I regain my balance, and my head slowly stops spinning. Easy there. Looks like there are still some sedatives in your system from the stasis pods. Ugh. I feel awful, I say as he lets me stand on my own once again. I get my bearings and he walks back to his post behind the security kiosk. If it's any consolation, you're not the first person to faint from cheap stasis sedatives. Still, you should head straight to the medbay once you've been scanned and cleared. Dr. Saria will take a look at you and she can give you something to help you as the drugs leave your system. That sounds like a good idea. I'll do that. All right, arms out. Shiru says as the two float droids deploy. I comply and they take a couple moments to complete their scan.
No forbidden articles or pathogens detected. Rashi Bashi, you are free to proceed into the station. Please enjoy your stay.
Why did I make my name Roshi Boshi? I start to pick up my heavy bags. You can just leave those here. I'll get a delivery bot to take your bags to your room. Just focus on getting to the med bay. It's on level 5. He types a series of commands into a screen and a rectangular bot comes speeding around the corner and skids to a stop in front of me. With a series of cheerful sounding beeps, it splits from the vertical seam down its middle, a compartment filling the gap between its two halves. As I place my bags into the compartment, I notice a small velvet cylinder perched on top of the front half of the bot. Is it wearing a bellhop hat?
Beep boop beep!
Chirps the bot. I know better than to anthropomorphize simple AIs like this, but I can't help but think it sounds happy. That's certainly not regulation. That's certainly not regulation. I'll have to talk to Roswell about this. Shiwu mutters under his breath. Now loaded with its cargo, the delivery bot closes the compartment and it speeds away as fast as it came. Thanks, Shiwu. I guess I'll see you around then? Shiwu gives me a full bright smile. See you around, Rashi. Enjoy the rest of your day. You as well, I say, returning his smile and waving over my shoulder as I head into the station proper. From behind me, I can hear Shiwu call up the next person in line and start his spiel over again once more. Hopefully he doesn't have to carry them as well. A light chime goes off as I enter the med bay.
I'll be with you in just a moment, calls out a calm feminine voice. Just take a seat in the waiting area.
Hello! The office is small with a dividing wall separating the treatment and waiting areas. As I take a seat, I sneak a peek into the treatment area. There is an examination table as well as an open med pod where a short Arunlian woman in a hospital gown sits. A Naru in a doctor's coat faces her, looking at the notes on her holopad. The same voice from before, the one belonging to the doctor, continues. As I was saying, thankfully your time in the medpod has healed up your skin from the burns you suffered, and all damage to your eye was thankfully reversible. I wish I could do that accent better.
I'd still advise limiting exposure to unnecessary visual strain for a few days. Limit screen time and get lots of rest. However, Vega, I'm afraid you'll have some permanent discoloration on your skin. I doubt this is what you wanted to hear. Sadly, Arulian skin is particularly prone to scarring, especially after a trauma like the one you faced. There is, of course, a possibility it will continue to fade as time goes on, and if you'd like, I could put you into contact with a cosmetic dermatology specialist on Cios. He is an old colleague of mine and is very skilled with reconstructive procedures on Arulian skin. The patient sitting on the med pod, Vega, speaks up. Her voice is sweet and carries the almost melodic-sounding Arulian accent. Thank you so much for your treatment, Dr. Saria. That's okay, really. I don't mind the scarring too much. I'm just happy I'm safe. You are incredibly fortunate that Officer Shiwu was able to get to you when he did. From what he told me, that rusty old ship you flew in on was a death trap. You're lucky only the tertiary fuel line burst. If it had been the secondary or starship at the primary, there may not have been anything left of you to put in the medpod. Now, here are your clothes. You can go ahead and get changed in the washroom over there. I'm going to go take a look at my next patient. Thank you, Vega says. She hops off the medpod and walks over to the bathroom, closing the door behind her. Alright, you can come on over and take a seat on the examination table here. I follow the doctor's instructions, walking over the exam table and taking a seat. Hello, I'm Dr. Saria. How can I help you today? Hi, I'm Roshi Boshi. I just got off a long haul trip. I've been out of stasis for about 2 hours, but I've been feeling kind of off. A bit sore and dizzy, I have a headache, and I fainted earlier. I see, that's not good at all. Saria says, tapping notes into a holopad. How long did you spend in stasis? Did you fly in on a personal or mass transit craft? Mass transit, one of the Argo spaceline ships. Saria winces and clicks her tongue in disapproval. That makes sense. The brand of sedatives for stasis the Argo space fleet uses are outlawed in Naru space for this exact reason. I'm sorry you're feeling unwell as a result. She gives me a sympathetic look and types a few final notes into her holopad before placing it on the table next to her. Lie back on the examination table. I'm going to do a quick scan to check our vitals.
I do as Saria instructs and lie down. She grabs a scanner and leans over me, and as she does, one of the tentacles on her head falls in front of her face. She gently pushes it behind her pointed ear. I can see the chromatophores in her skin at the tips of her tentacles shifting. Different shades of mostly coral pink, but looking closer, I can see undertones of blue and green. I know that Naru have chromatophores change colors with their emotions, but I haven't learned what each color means. Saria hovers the scanner over me and I do my best to stay still. After a few moments, it's over.
Alright, Roshi. You can sit back up now. It seems like your body is still attempting to break down and process the last of the sedatives in your system. That's why you're feeling the lingering effects we call pod sickness.
Saria explains as I return to my sitting position.
I can give you an injection that will speed up the process significantly. Since it will be going into your bloodstream directly, you'll feel better much quicker. Are you okay with needles?
Yeah, I'm fine with them. Needles don't really bother me all that much.
That's good to hear. Sit tight while I get everything prepped then.
Saria goes to the cabinet near the treatment areas and scans her wrist chip. I watch as she preps the needle, filling it with medicine from a vial. She places it on a tray next to some gauze and some sanitizing fluid. She brings the tray back over and places it in the little rolling table by the examination table. There was a lot of tables.
Alright, Roshi, I'm going to just do a quick swab here to sanitize the area.
She takes my forearm in her hand. I feel a slight brush of her skin on mine. Her touch is cool, but also incredibly smooth. My eyes meet her strange alien ones as she finishes.
Are you ready?
She asks, looking at me with a calm, pleasant expression. I can't help but feel a slight flush creep over my cheeks as she says those words. Then kick myself mentally because there's nothing flirty happening here whatsoever. Yes, I'm good to go.
Alright, Roshi, can you breathe in for me, please? And now out.
As I exhale, Saria swiftly administers the shot, then covers the small puncture with a little med patch, shaped like a little yellow star.
There we go. All done. You can lie back for a moment while the medicine does its work. I'm going to clean this up.
I lie back down on the table as Saria sets about putting her supplies away.
So, you're Cassie's relative that's taking over the Milky Way diner?
Yeah, Officer Shiru mentioned people on the station have been waiting for me to get here.
We have. Welcome to the Hesperides. How are you feeling now? Would you like to stand up?
I get up off the examination table. The difference is startling. My headache and dizziness are gone. I feel much better now, thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. Are you going to be heading to the diner now?
Yeah, I'm starving. Officer Shiru said he was going to ask someone from the agricultural deck to come give me some produce. I better head over there if I want to meet them.
Sounds like a great plan.
Maybe you could come by the diner sometime. I think I'll be open in a couple days.
I was planning on it. It would be nice not to have to cook for every meal again.
As I get myself ready to leave, Vega comes out of the bathroom.
Alright, I'm off. Thank you so much for everything, Dr. Saria. It was my pleasure, Vega. Feel free to come back if you need anything else. If you have the time before you head to your room, would you consider stopping by the tech office? Our station's lead technical mechanic Roswell has been looking at your ship. They'll want to talk to you when you get the chance. Maybe you can walk with Roshi here to the promenade. You'll need to pass through it to reach the tech office. And it will be good for you to get a lay of the land, or so to speak.
Saria turns to meet my eyes.
Would that be okay with you, Roshi? I think it would be good if you stuck together. Less likely for one of you to get lost.
Yeah, sure, I don't mind.
Fantastic. You both remember what I said. Try not to push yourselves too much, okay? And please, come back next time you need medical assistance.
You got it, Dr. Saria. Thanks again for all your help. I walk over to Vega and she gives me a polite bow and greeting. I return the gesture.
Hi, I'm Vega,
she says, raising her hand in a small wave. I'm Roshi. Let's head out. I turn and nod my head to Saria as we leave the med bay. Goodbye, Dr. Saria. Saria smiles and waves us goodbye. Oh, she was cute. I love Vega. Look how colorful she is. So, how are you holding up? Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but from what I heard, it sounded like you had a rough couple days.
Yeah, my starship had a malfunction while exiting the stable wormhole. Unstable tertiary fuel line. I thought I could handle it on my own, so I tried to fix it myself, but...
She gestures to the discolored side of her face.
I might have overestimated my own abilities. Thankfully, I was able to get a distress call out before something really bad happened.
That must have been terrifying.
Oh, it was. I really thought this is going to be it for me. Thankfully, Officer Shiru and the rest of the rescue team were able to get to me super fast. I'm holding out pretty well, things considered. Just a bit stiff. I'm glad to be up and walking.
I know the feeling. I just got out of a 2-week stasis early this morning. Feels good to stretch my legs.
I've heard those long-haul stasis pods are super awful. Is that why you were in the med bay? Pod sickness?
Yeah, they really are. I feel much better now, but I fainted earlier. Thankfully, she was there to catch me, I think to myself. As we walk through the hallways, I notice Vega staring intently at me. Is there something on my face? I ask and we stop walking for a moment.
Oh no. Sorry, I didn't mean to stare and make you uncomfy. It's just that I've never met a human in person before. Well, technically I met Officer Shiru, but only briefly, and I was a bit busy trying to not, die.
Well, you're the first Aurelian I've met, so I guess we're even. It's my first time out of my home system.
Oh my stars, me too!
She says enthusiastically.
I've met Naru and Sketians and even a Kertru before, but never a human.
That's not all that unsurprising, I think to myself. Travel visas to the Aurelian home system are notoriously hard to get a hold of, especially for humans. Vega leans in closer, staring intently at me with her shining red eyes. Up close like this, I notice a slight shimmer to her green skin, almost like she's wearing a light dusting of body glitter. Aurelians as a species look like mythical creatures to us humans, like the Fae or elves of old Earth legends come to life. Their entire race was stupidly, stunningly beautiful by almost all human measures of conventional attractiveness. So, what's your impression seeing one of us in person? I asked, trying to mask my self-consciousness from being looked at so intensely.
Your ears are kind of funny. They're round.
Thanks. Do all Aurelians sparkle?
Of course. I guess humans don't.
We do not. Not unless we're wearing makeup, that is. I say with a little laugh, or unless you're Edward Cullen, shaking my head. Our hair does turn white as we age, though.
Really? That's so cool. Our hair just stays the same colour all our lives. Some Aurelians say humans are pretty ugly, but I don't agree with that at all.
She muses matter-of-factly. I raise my eyebrow at her comment. I'm glad you don't agree, but I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a little insulting. And even a bit speciesist. Speciesist. Yes. It's one thing for species to have different beauty standards, but to just say it like that?
Well, what do humans say about us?
How to answer that question. It's a weird quirk of evolution that Aurelians and humans happen to look a lot alike. But the histories of our civilizations could not be more different. The Aurelians were the first GA civilization to harness nuclear fission as an energy source. Incredibly technologically advanced and ridiculously wealthy thanks to their resource-rich home planet of Aurelia Prime and 4 habitable moons. Humans, on the other hand, are best known for being the one and only species in the Galactic Assembly that somehow managed to fuck their home world till it was no longer habitable through their own greed and stupidity. Sure, we managed to survive the collapse of our home planet and expand throughout our own solar system with the comparatively rudimentary technology we had developed, but we probably could never have dreamed of achieving interstellar travel on our own. It's doubtful the GO would have even reached out and made first contact with the primitive, resource-poor residents of the Helios system had their hand not been forced. It was an open secret that the Aurelians tended to look down on our species more than any other. In the general human consensus, Aurelians are a bunch of beautiful rich snobs, blessed with ridiculously good looks and more resources than they know what to do with. That your species is very beautiful. And a bit full of themselves, I think to myself, but don't say it out loud.
Thank you,
she says, slipping her hair over her shoulder and flashing me a dazzlingly bright smile before continuing to walk. Oh yeah, I think, definitely full of yourselves. I follow her down the hall. So where were you heading before your ship broke down?
I wanted to get as far away from the Aurelian system as possible, so I figured the Theta sector was a good bet.
That makes sense. The Aurelian moons are all the way on the other side of the galaxy. Even with the help of stable wormholes, it still would have been a 3 or 4 week journey to get here. You're not a criminal or something, are you? On the run from the law? Headed to a fringe colony to lie low and plot your next big heist?
Ha! No, nothing like that. I just felt so trapped back home. I guess you could say I needed some space.
Was that supposed to be a pun?
You didn't like it?
I thought it was out of this world.
What about you? Why are you here?
Vega asks. You're looking at the new owner and chef of the Milky Way diner. I say with a proud smile.
Oh wow, you're a chef? Do you serve human food? I've always wondered what you guys eat.
I plan on it, but I'd also like to learn some recipes from other cultures. You should come by if you're still in the station when I open in a couple days.
Yes, please. I can't wait.
By now, we'd reached the promenade and I could see the outside of the Milky Way diner. Yay! It was a shop front like any other on the promenade. But there was a window on the side with the diner's name painted onto it in bluish green letters, which made it unmistakable. Speaking of the diner, this is me. Do you think you'll be able to make it to the tech office on your own from here?
Yeah, I think I'll manage. Thanks for walking with me, Roshi. Do you think I could maybe get your contact info on my palm pad?
Then a bit more shyly she adds,
Just so you can let me know when you open your diner. I promise not to bug you.
Sure, Vega. She hands me her palm pad and I type in my name and contact info, then add first human friend. She takes her palm pad and beams as she looks at the contact profile.
You're really my friend now?
She asks, hugging her palm pad to her chest. Yeah, I think so. Is that weird to say? Vega shakes her head. I wonder if I imagine the tears I saw welling up in her eyes.
Oh, no, not at all. I'll send you a message. Make sure to log me in as your first Aurelian friend too.
She turns away from me and begins to walk off.
Bye, Roshi. See you soon.
Vega shoots me one last smile, and with that she very nearly jogs away from me and around the corner towards the tech office. I'm finally at the diner! Woo! I scan my wrist chip and the door to the diner unlocks. There's a slight chime as I open the door. The diner is small and cozy, with a couple booths and some countertop seating. The kitchen is open and there's a door leading to the walk-in and office at the back. I walk behind the counter and explore the kitchen. Pots, pans, knives, and cutting boards all clean and in their place. A few non-perishable ingredients are still on the shelves, but it seems like the walk-in was cleaned out. Sanitation probably did that so nothing would start going bad. I run my hand across the well-used countertop and let my mind wander. The sound of the door chime jolts me back to reality. I turn around to see an Aurelian man in an orange work suit standing in the doorway. He carries a large crate under his muscular arm. Oh!
Excuse me, are you Roshi? Officer Shiwu asked me to bring some fresh produce from the egg deck around.
His voice is surprisingly quiet. I very nearly struggled to hear him from across the diner. I probably couldn't catch what he had said if there was any background noise. Yeah, that's me. Come on in. He gives a slight bow towards me as he walks in. You can go ahead and put the crate on the counter here. Thanks for bringing groceries. What's your name?
Oh, it's Ada. I'm a farmer on the agricultural deck.
He says, placing the crate onto the counter. He removes a small potted plant with the heart-shaped leaves from the crate.
I also brought you an Avanian mint plant. I thought maybe you might like it.
He extends the pot towards me and our fingers brush slightly as I take it from him. I take hold of one of the slightly fuzzy leaves and pluck it off the plant.
There's just too many cute people here. Ah!
Nice to meet you, Ada. And thank you. This is edible, right? Ada nods, and I place the leaf on my tongue. It tastes green and slightly cooling. What does green taste like? It's nice. Thanks again. This is so kind of you.
It's no trouble at all.
I place the little plant on a shelf by my cooking station, then lean over the counter to get a closer look at the contents of the crate. Oh. I look into the crate and realize with embarrassment that I don't recognize a single bit of produce. I shouldn't be surprised. This is a multi-species station, home to only a handful of humans. Of course the ag deck would be more focused on growing crops catering to the myriad of other species that call the Hesperides home. I spot a tomato hidden amongst the unfamiliar fruits and veggies. At least I know what to do with one of those things.
Is something wrong?
Ada asks, worried eyes moving from the crate to me and back to the crate. No, nothing's wrong. It's just that I don't really know what any of these are except for the tomatoes. I know those. I've never left my home system and we don't really grow many crops from other planets in Helios.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I should have just bought you things to be familiar with.
He avoids my eyes. The poor guy looks terribly embarrassed. Don't be. You didn't do anything wrong. Everything looks really interesting and I'll have to learn to cook with what I can get on the station sooner or later. Ada's expression brightens, meeting my eyes once again.
If you like, maybe we could do a little taste test. You could sample the produce I brought and I could tell you a little about each one.
I'd like that. Should I get out a cutting board?
No need for you to get anything dirty. I'm sure this will be fine.
Ada pulls out a small pocket knife from one of his overall pockets. Hell yeah. We sit across from each other at the counter and start to go through the box of fruits and vegetables. His voice is still quiet, but his tone is more confident. Which one do I want to try first? I get that back! That looks like a toad. I want this one. I point to the prettiest fruit of the bunch. It looks like a blue bubble with a pink center. What's this one called?
This is a sea berry from Nauru. We actually grow these underwater in our saltwater glow shrimp tanks. The plants and the shrimp provide each other with nutrients that keep each other healthy. It's a fascinating symbiosis. Go on, try one. Just take the little top part off before you do.
I turn the small crystal-like fruit over in my hand. The outer membrane shines with a bubble like rainbow iridescence. It's almost too pretty to eat. Almost. I take off the top part as Ada instructed and pop the sea berry into my mouth. The moment my teeth break the outer membrane, I'm met with a gush of salty, slightly sweet water, followed by the sweet, tropical, and slightly floral taste of the inner fruit. That's so unique. All right, what's this? These berries. How about this one? I lift up a purple and yellow vine bearing bright purple fruits. Keshri berries from Renan, the ultimate superfood. These are an incredibly important food source for the Kaet tree. They're also an incredible crop to grow on ag decks. On top of being full of antioxidants, they're one of the best sources of vitamin D you can get. That's nice to have when you're nowhere near a sun, I say, pulling a berry off its vine and popping it into my mouth. Once I bite through the firm skin of the fruit, I'm left with a soft, chewy texture. There's an initial tartness that disappears quickly and is followed by a deep berry sweetness, like a combination of a blackberry and purple grape. Alright, what's this thing? Looks like a hand. These look like fingers. This one kind of looks like a hand with too many fingers. I literally just said that. I say, pointing to the red orange fruit. I missed something. Hold on. What did I say? Oh no, I did say it. Oh, they've... Alright, return. Yeah, Sketcho chilies are freaky looking, but they're delicious. How are you with spice? I'm okay with it, but exactly how spicy are these? I'm not going to destroy my taste buds, am I? It's not that spicy, so you should be fine. The peppers from your home system have a chemical called capsicum that makes them spicy. Capsaicin? Is that capsicum? Is that how you say that? Because capsicum's different for... Hold on. Oh, shit. What did it say? The peppers from your home system have a chemical called capsaicin that makes them spicy. This one has a bit of that too. But they also contain hydroxyalphasanchal, which has a more tingly effect. That sounds cool. Let's give this thing a try. Ada breaks off a finger from the chili and hands it to me. I go for it, taking a big bite. It's crunchy and very similar to the peppers I've had before. The heat is subtle, creeping up before the tingling hits, numbing my tongue slightly. It's tasty and the numbing spice is kind of addictive. How is it? Not too spicy? I shake my head. No, not too spicy at all. It's pretty tasty, actually. Okay, good. What's this one? This one kind of looks like a big radish. Yeah, I say, handing Ada the big white root vegetable. It's a snow root. They grow in meltwater ponds on Renan, near hot springs, but we just grow them in specific hydroponic towers here. Ada slices into the snow root with his knife. I'm surprised to see that there are lace-like holes running through the center of the root. He hands me a slice and I take a bite. It's crunchy and starchy like a potato, but there's a slight zesty, spicy radish-like taste. It's nice. I like the crunch. Ada nods in agreement. There's lots you can do with them. Cook them, bake them, mash them, eat them raw, put them in a stew. They're incredibly filling as well. All right, what's this guy? How about this flower ball? Ah, atlas beans. These are a staple in the Aurelian system. We have these in some form or another a couple times a day. You can make sweet or savory dishes with them, and they're a great protein source. This is beans? It's a pod. He picks up the sphere and shakes it next to my head. There's the slightest rattle coming from inside. Here, let me show you. He peels back a part of the membrane and shakes 5 large indigo beans out of the pod and into his palm, which he then extends towards me. You can try them raw and fresh from the pod like this, but it's more traditional to cook them. This flower is edible too, though it's more so used as a garnish to make a dish pretty than as something you'd actually want to eat. I decide to pass on the flower, but go ahead and try one of the beans. It tastes pretty much how I expected, like any other raw bean I've had before. A bit starchy? Yeah. Yeah, I think I can see why. I bet if I cooked them, they'd taste much better. All right, what's this guy? It has a little bottle. Let's try this one. I point to the pinkish red pear-shaped fruit with a crown of spikes on its larger end. This is a ruby fruit from Sketcho. He explains, picking up the fruit and slicing into it. These used to be near impossible to grow on ships. They're a cactus fruit with very specific requirements, but about 5 standard rotations ago, the Sketchians came out with a gene-molded version that can be farmed on a standard grow tower with some minor adjustments. High yielding too. Ada cuts himself off as if remembering something. Sorry, I hope I'm not boring you too much, he says sheepishly with an apologetic look. The peel is edible, but it's not very tasty. Here. He hands me a peeled slice. The fruit is juicy, slightly crunchy and full of seeds. It's very sweet and something about its flavour reminds me of bubblegum. So, which one did you like best? I kind of like the sea berry. Definitely the sea berry. It's so unique and I love the mix of sweet and salty. They're so much fun to eat. I could eat a whole crate of them. I'm glad you're able to find something you liked, Ada says with a smile. I think I want to try cooking something. It's about lunchtime. Have you eaten yet, Ada?
Oh, no, but I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me. I'm not really hungry right now.
Ada quickly rises from his seat at the counter. He turns to start to leave, but as if betraying him, Ada's stomach growls loudly. His face darkens in embarrassment. Well, that settles it. I'm making his lunch. It's the least I can do after you brought me all this stuff. Sit back down and relax. I tell him, and he sheepishly returns to his spot and sits down.
Thank you, Roshi. Sorry for the trouble.
Of course, it's no trouble at all. Let's see. Lunch. Ooh, what to make? I think soup sounds nice and easy. How about a Milky Way diner specialty, I guess. I want to make something that was on the diner's original menu. I know this place was a big part of a lot of people's lives. I want to learn to cook the dishes that people love. You wouldn't happen to know how I can make something like that?
I think that's very thoughtful of you, Roshi. There was this one soup she used to have on the menu. I really loved it. It had tomato, sketcher chili, snow root, atlas beans and salt.
Sounds delicious. I can't promise it'll be as good as my aunt's, but I'll do my best. Yay! I get to cook! It's time to cook for your customer. Start by choosing the appropriate cooking method for what you want to make. For example, if you want to make soup, select a fucking pot. Once you've selected your cooking method, you can select 2 or more produce and or pantry ingredients to cook. Experiment to discover new recipes, and when you are satisfied, serve the dish. Okay? Pot. Okay, what did he say it had? Shit. Can I look at the history? He said it had tomato, sketcher chili, snow root, atlas beans, and salt. Tomato, chili, snow root, beans, salt. Tomato, snow root, beans, sketcher, salt. Yes? Oh my god. Yeah. Tomato, beans, sketcher, snow root, salt. Cook. Yummy! You made Aunt Cassie's soup. Aunt Cassie's signature recipe, a hearty spicy soup made from veggies from across the galaxy. Hell yeah. Okay, I think that'll do it. I say, looking over my shoulder from my station. All the while that I've been cooking, Ada has been watching me. One elbow propped on the counter, his hand supporting his head. Of course, every time I looked over at him, he made a point to look literally anywhere else. Aw, he's so cute. He's so cute and shy. Eventually, I just decided to pretend I didn't notice and focus on cooking. Feed him? I'm serving him a bowl. I'm not feeding him. Jesus. I mean, I guess I could. Seems a bit strange. I just met him. We're not at the feeding stage yet. I grab 2 green bowls and ladle soup into them till they're both full. I place one bowl in front of Ada on the counter. Then I take my bowl, deciding to eat on the cook's side, standing and facing him. All right, Aunt Cassie's soup. I tried my best to get it as close to the way you described as possible.
It's a bit different from the way your aunt used to make it.
Different bad or different good?
Different good. Sorry, I probably could have worded that better. The spirit of the dish is still there, but there are little differences. The way you cut the snow root, the amount of sketcher chili, the order you add the ingredients, all these little changes make it your own. And that's a good thing. So not better, not worse, just my version.
Exactly.
And your version of Cassie's soup is delicious. At least that's what I think. The Milky Way diner is your place now, so don't feel pressured to do things exactly as your aunt did.
There's such a warm and genuine expression on his face. I think I'll keep this soup on the menu. I want to keep her recipes alive.
I think she'd appreciate that.
Ada says with a slightly sad smile. He returns to his soup.
This is seriously delicious. Have you always been a chef?
I've never worked as one professionally, if that's what you're asking. But I've always liked cooking. It always made me happy to see my family and friends enjoy the meals I made them. And seeing you enjoying this meal now, I feel like I made the right choice coming here.
You know, your aunt told me once that she saw it as an honour to get to cook for people. That it made her glad to know that no matter how bad of a day someone was having, once they came into the Milky Way diner, they'd at least leave with a full belly and a better mood. I feel a similar way about the work I do on the ag deck.
I noticed you get pretty passionate when you talk about plants and stuff.
I've always loved growing things. It's kind of like that happiness you said you get when you see people enjoy the food you cook for them. It makes me happy knowing the plants I take care of will go on to feed the community, my community.
There's so much warmth in his coral eyes, I can tell Ada means every single word. You're a really kind person, Ada.
And so are you, Roshi.
He says with a soft, kind smile. Together we finish our food, chatting a little here and there, but mostly just enjoying the meal and each other's company. That was delicious. Thank you for lunch, Roshi. Here, let me help you with the dishes. He grabs his bowl and gets up from his seat. Ada extends his hand towards my empty bowl, but I slide it out of his reach. He gives me a puzzled look. You're very welcome, but do you normally ask to help with the dishes when you eat out? I ask jokingly. Ada lets out a little laugh of amusement. No, but I'm not exactly a paying customer right now, am I? So let me give you a hand. He reaches for the bowl again, and this time I let him take it. He walks behind the counter and heads to the sink. I made this meal to thank you, but now I can't help but feel like I owe you again. I could wash the dishes with him or ask if he would like to have dessert. Let's just wash them with him. I join Ada at the sink, drying dishes? Drying dishes as he finishes washing them and putting everything back in its place. I'm killing the dishes! Ah! Together, cleanup goes quickly. I wipe down the counters quickly, and the diner is just as I found it once again. Thanks for helping me clean up, Ada, and for bringing those ingredients too. Anytime, Roshi. And thank you for lunch. I have to head back to the ag deck now, but what are you going to do with the rest of your day? I think I'm going to head to my room now and take a rest. It's been a long day already, and the afternoon's barely started. Together we walk out of the Milky Way diner, and I turn off the lights as I leave. We stand outside the diner on the promenade. Sounds like a good plan. You should take it easy. I'll see you soon. Let me give you my contact information. I used to drop off produce weekly for Cassie. I'll do the same for you. I can't guarantee I'll have the same stuff every week though. I hand him my palm pad and he swiftly enters his details. He then hands the device back to me. That sounds great, thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day, Ada. You too. We smile and wave at each other as we go our separate ways. As I draw closer to Block 3, I hear voices coming down the hall. No, dang it, not again. There's gotta be a way out of this. Oh, I told you, you've got to keep your eye on your opponent's rook. I round the bend and take in my surroundings. There is a large common area with a sunken conversation pit where two people, a human with red hair and a Sketrian, are playing holochess. There is an opening in the right wall leading to a common kitchen and 3 doors which I assume lead to the residents' apartments. This human game is far too simple, and I believe with this move, the Sketrian moves the aforementioned rook and captures the human's king. I win, and your credits are mine. The red-haired human looks crushed. Come on, Seteth. Best 2 out of 3. That's not what we agreed upon. Besides, I've got work to... The Sketrian, Seteth, looks up from the board and his eyes fix on me. Oh. The human follows his gaze, theirs landing on me, and their face instantly breaks out into a smile. Hello. I give a small wave. Hi there. You must be the new neighbor. She messaged me saying you'd be on your way soon. I'm Roswell. It's nice to meet you. They climb out of the conversation pit and hold out their gloved hand to shake. Roswell's grip is firm, and their handshake is, well, enthusiastic. I'm Roshi. It's nice to meet you too. I'm your new neighbor, I guess. I'm taking over the Milky Way diner. Sorry for interrupting. It seems like you two are in the middle of a pretty heated battle. Hardly. I had just finished claiming victory. Seteth turns off the holodeck and climbs out of the conversation pit as well, standing beside Roswell. I am Seteth Sesketarat. That's hard to say. Researcher. Roswell elbows him in the side. Now do the thing like we practiced. They say out of the corner of their mouth. Seteth rolls his yellow eyes and extends a 3-fingered scaly hand, offering it for a handshake. I take his hand in mine. It feels odd, a bit cold, and a far different shape than I'm used to, but altogether a well-executed gesture. After Seteth lets go, Roswell gives him a friendly pat on the back. There you go, bud. You killed it. Roswell leans in towards me and mock whispers. Seteth was super nervous about making a good first impression on our new neighbor. He even asked for a refresher on human greeting customs. I did not. Seteth sputters, embarrassed, his tail swishing back and forth in agitation. Well, what's the Sketrian greeting custom? I'm grateful you made the effort, and well, my voice trails off. I really should have brushed up on my interspecies relations before coming all the way out here. Seteth clears his throat and shifts awkwardly. That's, well, the thing is, how should I put this? Roswell leans in towards me and whispers under her breath. Sketrian greetings are kinda intimate. By mammal standards, it's hardly my fault you're all so weird about your chests. I'm sorry, chests? Seteth pinches the bridge of his nose and sighs. Allow me to demonstrate. Roswell suddenly looks very interested in their palm pad, averting their eyes and absently scrolling through messages. Seteth turns to the empty space on his side and folds his left arm behind his back.
First, I would make a fist over my heart with my right hand like so, and then reach out and place my palm over your heart.
Seteth mimics the motion into empty space, keeping his palm in position for about 3 seconds. His movements are gentle and undeniably graceful. He then puts down his arms and turns back to face me.
You would then reciprocate the same gesture. In essence, it's an expression of trust, a way to prove that you are no threat. Having another's claws right above your heart is a risky position to put oneself in after all.
I glance down at Seteth's hands, 3 massive thick yellow claws at the end of strong scaly digits.
There is also this gesture as an alternative.
He puts down his middle finger and makes an arching gesture from his forehead outward.
As a non-Scatrian, this will suffice. We understand that other species don't have the same boundaries as we do. Though, if I were to introduce myself to another member of my own species this way, it would come off as cold at best and hostile at worst.
I see. In that case, use the traditional greeting. I step in front of Seteth. I'm a bit nervous, but there's no going back now. I steady myself and just go for it. I mimic Seteth's actions from before, folding my left arm behind my back and making a fist with my right over my heart. I then reach out and gently place my hand over Seteth's heart. Time slows down a bit at that moment. Even through his clothes, I can feel that his body is colder than a human's, and I can feel his heart. Seteth's heart, beating hard and fast under my hand, his chest rising and falling under my palm. I look toward his face and a small smile is playing on his lips. I feel heat rise on my face and realize a second too long has passed. I remove my hand back quickly if burned by a stove. If Seteth notices, he says nothing.
It's good to meet you, Roshi.
Seteth says with a warm tone. Left hand behind his back, he makes a fist with his right hand, places it over his heart, and then reaches out and places his palm over my chest where my heart lays. His large cold clawed hand is still and unmoving on my chest, feeling my heartbeat. I understand why this is an expression of trust for his species. He could rip the heart out of my chest if he wanted to. Literally. It's good to meet you too, Seteth. After the 3 longest seconds of my life, Seteth removes his hand from my chest. As if on cue, Roswell puts their palm pad back in their pocket.
See what I mean? Intimate.
Seteth clears his throat.
Anyway, welcome to Block 3.
Yeah, welcome.
How was your flat? Did it go okay? It's a long way from the Helios system.
Are you from the Helios system too?
Nope, I was born on the Casper.
That's one of the 3 original human extrasolar mobile settlements, right? Jesus. 3 Magi, as they're called, are 3 massive ships that left the Helios system not long after first contact with the Galactic Assembly almost 2 centuries ago. Oh, shit. Built with the help of the Assembly as a token of goodwill, the residents were the first humans to set out and join the galactic community. Lots of those original passengers ended up settling in established GA colonies. Some would go on to settle the fringe planets, but a significant population decided the ships were their home now. They would journey on, exploring the galaxy as generations passed.
I remember the first time I took a long-haul transport up the Casper. It was budget, of course, and I felt like I had the worst hangover for days after being in the pod. The same thing happened when I traveled to the Hesperides. I went to the Milky Way diner feeling like literal death, and Cassie made the most amazing soup, and poof! I felt better than ever. I swear it was like...
Roswell stops mid-sentence, seemingly remembering in that moment that Aunt Cassie is gone. They shake their head and blink back the tears that start to form in her eyes.
Your aunt was a real great lady. The Milky Way diner means a lot to all of us here. It's really great that you're carrying on that legacy and keeping it open.
Seteth nods his head solemnly.
She really was something. I ate pretty much all of my meals there. We both did. Nothing beats Cass's spicy fried spina bugs.
Roswell sighs wistfully and Seteth rolls his eyes again.
Cass's cooking was indeed very good, but that dish is simply a waste of perfectly good spiny bugs. No, it's not. Fried spiny bugs are literally my second favorite food of all time. What is it you humans like to say? You could deep fry crickets and they would taste good? Oh, you could deep fry circuits and they would taste good. All you're tasting is oil, salt, and starch.
Circuits? Crickets?
You can hardly taste the delicate flavor of the meat under all that batter.
Crickets.
I personally prefer them simmered. I like to actually enjoy my bugs for what they are.
I'm sorry, spiny bugs? The name sounds vaguely familiar, but as for what they look and taste like, I'm drawing a blank.
You really haven't left the Helios system. They're huge out here in GA space and in the colonies. Super tasty, much more substantial than the crickets you get in the Helios system. You'll love them. You'll love them. Cassie once said they taste kind of like lobster, which I've never had, but I think it's supposed to be good. They're a specialty from my home planet. Adar breeds them on the agricultural deck. You can ask him to bring you a couple to sample.
good to know. I'm actually kind of curious. I bet they taste great. Simmered. I tried lobster one time back home on Mars and it was pretty good. I think it was poached. Anyways, it was tasty, so I'm sure spiny bugs will be tasty too. I'm confident they will be to your liking. Sketrian food is the best in the galaxy after all. Well, there's it. Aren't scientists supposed to refrain from making biased statements like that? In matters concerning research, of course. But we're discussing preferences at this time, so I think I'm in the clear. I really do want to learn more about Sketrian food. I tasted some ruby fruit and Sketro chilies for the first time today, and they were delicious. Remind me to share with you a list of some of the greatest dishes my home planet has to offer. If you add them to the diner's menu, I'm sure any Sketrians who visit will be thrilled for a taste of home. Sketrians like yourself, for example? Seteth starts getting visibly flustered once again. I mean, who among us doesn't appreciate a taste of home? Besides, like I said, best food in the galaxy. Roswell snaps their fingers as if something just came to them. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I have a welcome present for you. A present? Yeah, just a little welcome to the neighborhood gift. Roswell leans down and grabs the small duffel bag that was sitting on the couch. They dig around for a moment before pulling out a lumpy ball wrapped in festively patterned reusable cloth and handing it to me. Oh, thank you. Should I open it now or later in my room? Definitely now. I want to see the look on your face. Yes, I too am rather curious to see how you would respond. Between Seteth's amusement and Roswell's naked enthusiasm, I feel a little bit nervous. Could this be a prank of some kind? No, these two don't seem the type to haze their new neighbor. Tentatively, I open the wrapping to reveal a fuzzy blue ball with big ears. Ah! What is this? It looks like a Furby! Its robotic yellow eyes click open and I flinch, almost dropping the contraption. Yikes! Whoa! Easy there! I steady myself and take another look at it. Some kind of pet bot. The kind that's pretty popular with kids. But it's not any creature I recognize. Do you like it? I know it can be hard adjusting to a new place. I found this little cutie in a box of Kaetri scrap Kael brought me back from Anon and I fixed them up to keep you company. They're supposed to be a rune. Well, a cartoonish interpretation of one. Kael said they were super popular on her home world when she was a cub. Don't hold back. I told Roswell it was a bit of a juvenile idea. That's just another word for fun. Anyway, be honest. The little robot starts to let out a slight rumbling, mechanical purr. There's no denying the sound is comforting in its own way. I love it. It's really cute. A bit creepy, but cute. Creepy cute. Exactly. Seteth shudders. It stares into your soul. Right, into your soul. That's part of the rune's charm. Kael told me in the wilds of Renan they immobilize their prey with their stare. Thanks so much, Roswell. This was so full of you. I really do love it. Roswell blushes, beaming with happiness. Their smile brightened as warm as sunshine. I feel myself starting to blush a little too. I had a feeling you'd be a fan. I'm more than a fan. This little cutie and me are going to be the best of friends. Hearing that, the little pet bot Rune starts purring even more. What does it do? Well, it's got basic AI. It will respond if you pet it or pick it up or talk to it. It can give off a little heat too. You can also ask it for the weather. What weather? We live on a space station. Okay, fine. It'll tell you the weather if you take it planet-side. Or the news. They make a pointed glance at Seteth, which is relevant everywhere. It's even got a built-in speaker function so it can play you music. All of which the AI assistant built into your living quarters can do. Yes, but you can't cuddle the living quarters AI. No, you cannot. Score one for the rune. If you ever need any maintenance on it or anything else, give me a shout. I'm the head tech on the Hesperides. If it's broken, I can fix it. Just then an alarm on Roswell's palm pad sounds. Speaking of which, due to calls, I better get back to the tech office. And I should head back to the lab. It was good to meet you, Roshi. You guys as well. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we all head to Wayfarer's Rest for drinks tonight? A little welcome party for a new friend. What do you say? We'll meet you after we're done working for the day. I'll try my best to make it. I've got this experiment to... It can wait. Come on, Seteth, live a little. I live plenty. Yeah, that sounds fun. I guess I'll see you two later. I'm gonna drop my stuff off in my room and get settled in a little. Yeah, rest up. Take care, Roshi. See you later. Seteth gives me a friendly wave before turning around and walking out of the block with Roswell following behind. Now I believe you have credits to transfer to me. And here I was hoping you'd forget. I love them. I love them so much. I walk over to the door for room 3 and scan my wrist chip. The door slides open and I take my first steps into my new home, carrying the rune in my arms as it continues to purr away. My bags were left in the sunken entry alcove, placed carefully by the delivery bot from earlier, I presume. I remove my shoes and take a look around the room. It's cozy than I expected it to be. There's a bathroom and a little kitchenette as Shiwu described. There's also a sleeping nook with plush-looking sheets and a warm golden glow coming from lights in the walls of the nook. Finally, there is a surprisingly large window looking out into space. I can see the distant blinking sights of one of the stable wormhole entrances and the occasional flashes of starships zipping by. It's peaceful. I place the little rune pet bot on the shelf by my bed. Its little robot eyes blink a couple times, looking around the room. Oh, Thankful! A little voice calls from inside the pet bot. The speakers crackle a little with age. What the? I take a seat on the bed and lean in till I'm eye level with the rune. Masha Voshrash Nuka? The little robot creature's ears move up and down as it looks at me. Are you speaking Kaetri? Sakva! I don't speak Kaetri. Sorry, little buddy. Kaesh Vashra. The rune closes its eyes for a few moments and rumbles a little. When the rumbling stops, it opens them again.
Language path updated to Galactic Assembly Standard Dialect. Hello, friend. What's your name?
It's Roshi.
Hello, Roshi. Is there a name you would like me to respond to?
I want to call you Bluey. I'm so original.
Okay, I'll go by Bluey from now on. Do you want to play?
Maybe some other time, little buddy. I want to take a nap. I say, peeling off my traveling clothes and flopping onto the bed. Somehow it's even comfier than it looked. I crawl under the covers and let out a contented sigh. Lights off. I call out and the lights of the room switch off. I turn over in bed and look into the little rune's glowing eyes. Can you wake me up in a couple of hours?
Of course, my friend Roshi. Sweet dreams.
I close my eyes and almost immediately fall asleep. When I awake from my nap, it's about an hour and a half before I'm supposed to meet Roswell and Seteth at Wayfarer's Rest. I unpack my bags, take a refreshing water shower, and get dressed. I figure it won't hurt to be a bit early, so I decided to head to Wayfarer's Rest and have a drink while I wait. Whoa. Yeah. I walk into the Wayfarer's Rest. It's a dim space sparsely lit with neon. There are a handful of patrons scattered around occupying tables and stools along the bar. I decided to grab myself a spot at the counter. I look over one of the small drink menus at the bar, and as expected, none of the cocktails are anything I'm familiar with. Hello? The person behind the bar, a Kaetri with long hair wearing incredibly fine clothes, walks over to where I sit. He places a glass of water in front of me on a purple cloth napkin and gives me an easy smile. Welcome to Wayfarer's Rest, dear guest. I'm Lauro. Is there anything I can get started for you? Or would you like a bit more time with the menu? I look over the unfamiliar list of drinks with alien ingredients. I recognize a few of them now thanks to Ada, but it's not enough to really know what I want. What would you recommend? Depends on what you like. I'm sure I can make you something that will be to your taste. In that case, something sweet. Actually, something strong. Can you make something strong? Oh, I can absolutely do that. Laro busies himself. He takes a bottle off the top shelf and sets to preparing my drink. Woo! That looks like something that I would fuck hard with. Once he's finished, he places a glass before me. It's filled with a reddish-orange liquid. There is a large spherical ice cube along with what looks like some kind of green citrus peel. When I lift the glass up to my nose, I'm hit with a strong and spicy, almost medicinal-smelling aroma that has the undeniable burn of high-proof liquor. Here you are, dear guest. 1 sekish on ice. I go ahead and take a sip. The drink is cold but spicy and smoky and just the slightest bit sweet. It burns on the way down and leaves a numbing spice in its wake. Oh, that is strong. Just what I needed. I look into the glass, swirling the red-orange drink. I've never tried anything quite like it. It's Sakesh, a traditional Sketrian spirit. It's made by smoking a certain cactus plant and fermenting it along with various spices. And that particular batch was made by a dear friend of mine who runs one of the finest Sakeshries on Sketro. Small batch. She's one of only a handful of brewers keeping the millennia-old traditional Sakesh brewing techniques alive. I look at Lara and then at my drink. I hadn't thought to clarify just how much I wanted to spend when I asked for a recommendation. And top shelf alien booze probably doesn't come cheap. How much is this drink going to set me back? I asked nervously. For you, this first one is on the house. But if you'd like another... Lara slides the menu towards me. I look at the price and fight the urge to wince. Thank you for your generosity. I think I'll just savor this one for now. So, what brings you to the Hesperides, dear guest? And would you honor me by sharing your name? Lauro asks, his voice smooth as velvet. I'm Roshi. I just moved here today to take over management at the Milky Way diner. Laura's eyes narrow slightly at my response. Ah, so that's why you asked. He says, still smiling, but there's a coldness to his tone that wasn't there before. You're here to steal my recipes, scope out the competition.
Maybe you're looking to add a cocktail menu to the Milky Way diner. Kael told me about the new chef when she dropped off my delivery today. He makes a point of looking me up and down, sizing me up with his cat-like gaze. She said you were cute for a human, but I don't quite know if I see it or not. He leans casually on the counter behind him, arms folded, his eyes locked on mine. Or maybe, and this is crazy, I'm just here to enjoy a drink while I wait for my friends. Besides, are we really in competition? I ask matter-of-factly and unamused. You run a bar and I run a diner. Those are pretty different niches. You don't have anything to worry about. Were you and my aunt competitors or something? Is that why you suddenly got all cagey the second you learned who I am? I asked, taking another sip of my drink, which is annoyingly good. We were friendly rivals, he says with a grin as he busies himself with cleaning glassware. I guess there would be a bit of competition for customers who are just passing through. I guess we'll just have to see who will come out on top. Oh, I like how Lara said that. I guess we'll just have to see who comes out on top, won't we? I smirk, taking another sip of my drink. Lara regards me with an amused expression. I think I was supposed to say that, but it's fun. Though I guess I won't be able to get a drink as good as this on the station if I run you out of business. I admire your confidence. I might just have to stop by the Milky Way diner and see just how good your cooking is. Decide for myself if I have to worry about you running me out of business, as you say. As long as you don't steal my recipes while you're at it. Lara lets out a purring chuckle. I don't quite think I'll need to resort to that. Friendly rivals then? I asked, raising my glass. Friendly rivals. Lara says as he sets about prepping what looks to be garnishes for cocktails. As I continue to sip my drink, my eyes wander to the shelves of unfamiliar bottles. So what's in all these different bottles? I asked, pointing to the shelves behind Lara. It's not all alcohol, right? Not at all, Lara answers. Aurelians can't consume alcohol, nor can the Naru, but they have their own beverages that produce altered states. There's Dreamflower nectar from the Aurelian system. Lara turns around and pulls down a round bottle filled with a thick golden yellow substance, placing it on the counter for me to examine. It has a lovely sweet flavor and a mild psychedelic effect I find rather enjoyable myself. Can humans drink it too? Yes, the Naru can as well. Sadly, Sketrians are a bit sensitive to some of the compounds found within, so they generally don't consume it. Not unless they're looking to have a very wild night. I see. I say, picking up the bottle and turning it over in my hand, watching the golden sparkling liquid swirl around inside. And this is Quilum, the Naru drink of choice. Lara explains, pulling another bottle down from the shelf. This one is tall and skinny and filled with a mysterious iridescent-looking liquid. It's made from puff-puff fish venom. Sadly, Kaetri can't enjoy this, but it's safe for you humans. I've been told it induces a lovely mellow high. I guess it makes sense that not every species can consume the same thing safely. Lara nods thoughtfully. It is indeed a very important thing to consider when you're providing food to multiple species. I've got a lot to learn if I don't want to end up accidentally poisoning someone. That would be bad for your business. He muses before adding with a devilish smile. But potentially good for mine. I hear the bar door behind me chime and a familiar friendly voice calls out, "Hey Rashi, you made it!" I turn around to see Roswell with Vega in tow. "I hope you don't mind that I invited Vega along. She mentioned you guys had met." Vega gives me a friendly little wave. "No, not at all. Good to see you again." Roswell looks behind me and waves at the bartender. "Hey, Laro!" "Welcome, dear guests. Please take a seat wherever you like." Roswell and Vega walk over and join me at the bar. "Laro, can I get a bottle of Kishak, please?" Lara nods pleasantly, taking a purple glass bottle out from under the counter and popping off the cap before handing it to Roswell. "What's that? Is it any good?" "It's kind of like a beer, so I like it." They take a drink from the bottle. "I've been looking forward to this all day." "Why don't you carry any human drinks here, Lara?" "Oh, I used to carry some Martian beer, but Roswell and Cassie were the only ones who ever ordered it." Lara shrugs. "It was a business decision." I feel personally victimized by this business decision. You're lucky this Kishok is so good." "Oh, I'll have one of those as well, please." Lara raises an eyebrow at Vega. "I'm sorry, miss, but I'm afraid I can't serve you Kishok. It's alcoholic." "Oh, right. Whoops, silly me." Vera laughs awkwardly. It's her first time out of her home system too. I explained to Lara.
How about a Dreamflower Rochette Fizz instead? He asked, turning to Vega.
Sure, that works too.
Lara turns around and busies himself with preparing Vega's drink. So what's the status of your ship? I turn to Vega and ask.
Respectfully, it's not a ship, it's a fossil. Hey! No offense.
Roswell raises their hands.
It's an Aurelian reactor. That class of ship hasn't been in production for like 75 years. I'm impressed that it's even still operational.
I doubt it would even pick up on the most modern scanners.
Vega's lucky the sensors we have on the station are also fossils. The rescue team might not have reached her in time otherwise. I told Vega that I could fix it, but it's gonna take me a while to find the compatible parts I'm missing. I said she'd be better off just cutting her losses and flying commercial, but I said that I'd rather just wait.
Vega says, cutting Roswell off.
It's not like I'm in a hurry. Besides, the station seems nice.
Here's your Rochette Fizz, Miss Vega. Lara says, placing the drink in a napkin in front of Vega with a smile.
Thank you. Lara, right?
Correct. A pleasure. The door chime goes off again.
Over here, Adar, Sateth.
Roswell calls, waving the both over to the bar. They turn to me apologetically.
Okay, so maybe I didn't just also invite Vega along. I thought a welcome party would be fun. The others should be here soon too.
The others?
Yeah, Shiwu, Saria, and Kael. You've met them all, right?
I have.
Great, it's gonna be a great night.
Roswell turns to Sateth and Adar. Jesus.
Hey guys, this is Vega.
They motion towards Vega with a flourish.
She's also new to the station. Her starship exploded and she's very lucky to not be dead.
Vega bows towards Adar. She then greets Sateth with an arcing gesture from her forehead, outward with her right hand.
It is a pleasure to meet you both. Nice to meet you, Vega.
It's nice to meet you too. Ada says with a polite bow. I can tell he's making an effort to speak louder so he can be understood over the music and conversations. He tilts his head slightly as he looks at Vega. I'm sorry to ask, but have we met before? Vega shifts a little at Ada's question.
No. Why?
Of course, sorry I asked. You look so familiar, but I can't quite remember now. Or how.
I guess I just have one of those faces.
Vega says with an uncomfortable laugh, turning to continue talking to Roswell. Interesting. Anything I can get you boys?
I'll have a Sakesh. Neat, please.
And I'll have a nectar spritz, please. Coming right up. Lara turns and gets to work on their drinks. Did you guys both have a good rest of your day? I asked Sateth and Adar.
It was productive.
I've been wondering, what exactly is it you research out here, Sateth?
I'm a deep space biophysicist. My area of study involves a particularly near microscopic species that lives in the vacuum of space called Darsex. They're particularly drawn to areas where the fabric of space and time is a bit looser, so the nexus point of 4 stable wormholes is an ideal place to collect samples and study them.
But how does the species even survive in the vacuum of space?
The answer to that question is a bit too complicated for this setting, but perhaps you could come by my lab someday and I could explain my research a bit more thoroughly then.
That would be really cool. I'd be happy to take you up on that. I turn to Adar. Did you have a good day too, Adar? He nods.
We transferred some strawberry seedlings to the grow towers.
You grow strawberries here too? When will they be ready to harvest?
In about 2 weeks. I'll include some in your produce delivery once they're ready.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'd love some as well.
Lara says, handing Adar and Sateth their drinks.
I have a great idea for a new cocktail.
All right, let's get this party started.
Yes!
Yes! Calls a familiar voice from the entrance of the bar. I look over to see Kael striding into the Wayfarer's Rest.
Laro, saklo, takmo vosrash. Savarushma.
Lara responds in Kaetri and pours Kael a shot of clear alcohol. She takes the shot from Lara, slams it back in one swift motion.
Ugh, now that's what I'm talking about.
She exclaims, then turns to Roswell.
Hey, Sparky.
Roswell and Kael share a high five that becomes a surprisingly elaborate secret handshake. She then turns to Adar, giving him a friendly pat on the back.
Sprout, my man, how are those seeds I brought you back last time doing?
They're doing great. I just started germinating.
Love to hear it. Sateth, always fun to see you out of your science cave. The word you're looking for is laboratory.
Yeah, but Science Cave is just way more fun to say. And you, Kael says, turning to me with a bright smile. How was your day, sugar? I hear Satet mutter. You really could not wait till Roshi got settled before trying to charm her, huh? Kael shoots him an icy glare before turning back to me. It was pretty good, I'd say. Lots of new friends, as you can see. I have to ask, are you going to keep calling me that from now on? Not unless you ask me to stop. I don't mind. Nah, I don't mind. Vega taps twice on Kael's shoulder to get her attention. Hello, we haven't met yet. I'm Vega. Oh, hi, sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you there. As Kael and Vega introduce themselves to one another, my attention shifts to the two other people entering the Wayfarer's Rest, Shiwu and Saria. They walk over and join us at the bar. Ah, yes, Doctor and Officer. Anything I can get for you, my dear guests? I'll take a glass of Kilum. Just some iced tea with mineral water, please. Coming right up. Lauro says with an easy smile. How is he so good with his customers? How are you feeling? Much better, thanks for asking. Of course, we'll try not to keep you out so late. You need your rest to adjust to GI standard time. Days are a bit longer than you're probably used to. Speaking of rest, she turns to Shiwu. Are you getting enough rest, Shiwu? The meds you gave me are doing their job, helping me fall asleep. But I still find myself waking up multiple times in the night. I see. Come by my office tomorrow and we'll talk more. Maybe I could make you something that could help. Lara offers, placing Shiwu and Saria's drinks on the counter in front of them. I'll remind you that I'm 2 years sober. Shiwu says with an exasperated sigh. Something non-alcoholic. Honestly, I'm hurt you'd think I disrespect your sobriety like that. Though if you need someone to come to your room and read you a bedtime story. Laro winks at Shiwu suggestively, but he completely ignores Laro, totally unfazed by his comment. Shiwu takes a sip of his iced tea. Honestly, why does everyone on this station care about how much sleep I get? Because you have friends who care about you? I'd be thankful to have so many people caring enough to check in on me. You're lucky. Roshi is right. We just all want to see you happy and healthy. Me especially, as your friend and as your physician. I wish I could roll my R's. This would be so much easier. Hello, Cat. I know, and I do know how fortunate I am and thankful for it. I'm just not the biggest fan of being fretted over so much. I can take care of myself. Thank you, Evie. Go. Go. But I'll come by the med bay on my break tomorrow. Can I come see you tomorrow too, Saria? Oh, of course you can, Roshi. But didn't you just say you were feeling much better? I am, but I might have some trouble adjusting to the time change, like you said. Maybe I could bring you lunch, since you said earlier you were looking forward to not having to cook for every meal? That's very generous of you to offer, but you really don't need to trouble yourself, Roshi. I can wait for the diner's opening like everybody else, but I'll be happy to give you a quick checkup tomorrow should any problems arise. Yeah, of course. Sorry if I overstepped there. You seem to care for everyone here so much, I wanted to do something to make you feel cared for too. You didn't overstep at all, so don't worry. But I won't be accepting any special treatment, not unless you want to deliver lunch to Shiwu and everyone else. As conversations continue, Roswell climbs onto the bar. They stand on the counter and call out to the assembled group. Alright, can I have your attention? Now that everyone's here, please get off the bar. Right, sorry. Roswell hops off the bar and back onto their seat. As I was saying, let's make a toast. Aww. To new friends and the grand reopening of the Milky Way Diner. Cheers. 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 Yep, cheers. Oh. Aw, that's so cute. Yay! Thank you for playing the Love at the Milky Way Diner demo. If you enjoyed this demo, please consider backing our Kickstarter so we can make the full version a reality. That is a very good point. So that was Love at the Milky Way Diner, the demo. So they did have a Kickstarter. It was their second try at funding their sci-fi visual novel, and they actually met their goal. So like I said, they don't really need to ask for people to go to the Kickstarter anymore because it's been funded. And you can go and wishlist it on Steam if you want. You can also go and download the demo and give it a play if you like. I definitely can tell it has a bit of a way to go, just specifically with the spell check and grammar checks and that sort of thing. But like I said, this game isn't going to be released until the 15th of October of this year, 2025. So there's plenty of time for them to like smooth out the edges. Currently, though, so far, I love the premise. I love the cooking part. That was fun because I'm assuming you're going to get to discover recipes as you go along. And all the characters seem really fun. I love just the fact that there's different alien creatures with their own languages and different types of things that they deal with. The fruits and the vegetables that we got to try, those were really cool. Learning about like the different races and or the different species, I should say, and how they operate and how they differ compared to the humans specifically. I find it fascinating, and I love the idea that you get to follow along this story at this diner, learn the characters, uncover any mysteries there may be. There seemed to be a bit of a mystery between his name is already Vega and Ada. There seemed to be something there. So yeah, I'm very excited to play this when it comes out. I'm probably going to follow the page so I can get updated if they release any more information about the game or any further demos, that sort of thing. I'm definitely going to be following along. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you get to play many, many games, and I will catch you in the next one.